Hey, what's up guys? It's Corey here with Dapper Dollars, and today we're going to talk about some potentially game-changing information for Hyliion and Aemetis. You ready? Let's get started. So, this channel is all about using online print-on-demand platforms like Merch by Amazon, Etsy, Redbubble, and things like that to create online income for ourselves, invest this income in things like real estate and stocks to create financial freedom for ourselves and our family. If that sounds like something you're interested in, like and subscribe, and let's get started. So, what happened over this last week that created a potentially game-changing situation for Aemetis and Hyliion? Well, the alternative fuels tax credit was revamped by the government. That means that the government is now backing the use of alternative fuels, and they are reinstituting their commitment to making sure that this is something that the country is incentivized to do through the way of tax credits, tax breaks, and things like that, and making it more affordable and encouraging businesses to take steps in this area. Now, you'll know that if you've been invested in Hyliion or Aemetis for any period of time, that they are both in the renewable natural gas sector. Hyliion has renewable natural gas drivetrains and electric vehicle drivetrains. Aemetis is a company that produces RNG, renewable natural gas. So this is a great thing for these companies because number one, companies that use or distribute these renewable natural gases get a 50-cent per gallon tax credit towards their business and their income. This is going to be a great thing because it's going to incentivize people to use renewable natural gas if they have the option, and it's going to incentivize people to create renewable natural gas like Aemetis. So they're going to get a tax break for this, and that is going to create an incentive to keep going in their business. And it shows that the government is going to support companies like Aemetis to basically keep them going. It doesn't exactly mean that Aemetis is going to be a zombie company that is just kept alive by the government, but it does mean that Aemetis is going to have support from the government as far as continuing and being seen as a valuable business in the future. Now, there is also a clause in there, not a clause, but something else within the bill that says that there is a $30,000 or 30% tax deduction for renewable natural gas refueling stations. This is something that is going to be incredible for Hyliion because that means that other companies are going to be incentivized to build these refueling stations. And Hyliion needs these stations in order to keep growing. They do have some stations in place, but they need more stations to make it cost effective and make it appealing for people who are in the trucking space to actually invest with Hyliion and buy Hyliion drivetrains that use renewable natural gas. Because if there aren't that many refueling stations, like Tesla right now is having the issue of not having that many superchargers available for their, the Tesla truck or Tesla semi, then they're not going to be as widely sought out. Because if you have a truck that has to go, like a Tesla truck that has to go all over the country, and there's only a few hundred recharging stations, and it takes 40 minutes to an hour to actually recharge their Tesla truck, it's not going to be that advantageous. Whereas you can have renewable natural gas station at most places where they have gas stations now, and it's really not that difficult to install, and they can have semis pull in there, refuel 15 minutes at, I think 15-20 minutes at the most, and then they're back on the road. So that is is half of what Tesla would require. They're getting zero emissions to negative emissions if they're using renewable natural gas, because renewable natural gas is natural gas that is pulled from methane runoff and things like that from dairy farms or other methane producing places like landfills and stuff like that. So this is going to be a great incentive for companies to actually move forward and invest more into the renewable natural gas and EV space. However, there is something that we need to keep in mind that is not seemingly to be talked about that much. A lot of people are very excited about the fact that this has been revamped, but it has been reaccepted by the government. But we need to keep in mind that this has been reaccepted. This is not new legislation that has come down. This is just reiterating what is already there. They've decided to keep it going for another year or two to give people these tax credits. This means that everything that is in place now as far as these tax credits has been in place in the past, and so it doesn't really mean that terribly much. It does show the government is still supporting it, but it is not one of those situations where you need to go out and buy a ton of Hyliion or buy a ton of Aemetis stock. I personally am going to keep investing in these companies. Hyliion today I think was down in the 15s, so it's not really looking that great for them. But again, short term it's not looking that great. I'm more a long-term investor. I'm looking at Hyliion maybe 5 to 10 years down the road, and I fully see this company as a $75 a share stock if they continue to do the right things. Remember, what we're mainly looking for are these refueling stations to go into place that people are now going to get tax credits for or continue receiving tax credits for. And also you need to watch for follow-on orders for these Hyliion drivetrains and Hyliion trucks that have gone out. These are going to be the main tellers of if Hyliion is actually producing a product that is going to change the industry like they're saying. There's been a lot of speculation about if they can actually get the mileage that they're expecting, or reduction of cost of mileage compared to diesel. And then there's the whole question of if they actually have the refueling station. So the more information that we get as far as confirmed refueling stations and follow-on orders for Hyliion's products, that is going to be the main source of information as far as whether or not to continue investing in this stock or just let it ride and see what happens. Now, Aemetis, this company is really going to benefit from this because it means that there is the continued support from the government. Aemetis is not exactly, it's a growth company. They're not exactly in the most financially sound situation. They're really held together a lot by the government and grants like that and these tax credits to keep the company rolling, because there's a growing trend of renewable natural gas and renewable natural gas use in the country, but it is not exactly a mainstream thing. It is not like diesel, it's not like gasoline. Renewable natural gas is something that people are wanting, but there's not a huge supply of it. And so we're hoping that this is going to be a continued catalyst for Aemetis into the future, because this is going to give Aemetis an opportunity to keep growing, keep doing everything that they're doing, produce renewable natural gas to a point where it becomes available enough to enough people that enough people can experience it, create higher demand, and then that means Aemetis is going to be much more profitable in the future. So this is my take on what this, the tax credit is that's come out. It is something that existed in the past. They've just decided to renew it. So this is not a new piece of information, but it is something that a lot of people found and they got pretty excited about it because it looks like the government is basically propping these companies up. But remember, this is something that has already been in place. It's not something that the government has just rolled out. So I think these companies are still great investments for the long term, Aemetis and Hyliion. I'm invested in both of them. I will probably continue to invest more into Aemetis than I will into Hyliion. But it is going to be a great year. 2021 is off to a pretty good start as far as the stock market, and I'm looking forward to the rest of this year. Anyway, let me know what you guys think. Drop a comment in the comment section below. Let me know what you think of these tax credits and whether or not it's going to actually influence the stock price. Obviously, it hadn't brought Hyliion up that much, but what do you think as far as the government incentivizing people to continue to use products like renewable natural gas and things like that? Anyway, remember, someone's going to do something great every day, guys. Why not you? See ya.